Happy birthday, Manaia.
Oh, happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Look at you on the TAB hunch couch there.
Christening it with a cheese scone.
Yeah, having your birthday cheese scone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Age-old tradition. This is quite nice. I should just go from broadcast to broadcast having a happy birthday wish to me.
Yeah.
All day.
Fair enough.
We just had it on the breakfast show where I subjected the Hauraki listenership to a 6-minute shitter from the Queens of the Stone
You
Age.
certainly did. And like when you described it as a B-side shitter, you weren't wrong. Like I thought I might have heard of that song at least once in my life.
No, well, what's the point of playing that? That's in our playlist anyway, you know?
Yeah, it was good
I
actually.
was like self-indulgent B-side shitter.
I enjoyed that, and then Pixie Campbell came storming in, kind of half joking,
Yeah.
kind of not
He's like,
going,
what the hell was
fuck
that?
is this?
Yeah.
And then wishing you happy birthday.
Yeah.
I felt like there was
happy birthday, mate. But
Yeah.
he was frazzled. He was,
yeah. It
you
was-
could tell he'd been out there for 4, because he did mention when we walked out of the studio, he's like, I turned to Greg Preble and said, what the hell is this song? And Greg goes, it's got another 2 minutes to go.
I thought the same, to be honest. The song was on its way out, and that's why I said, surely it's over now.
And then it comes back. That's why it's such a good song.
Who cares though? We played 2 Green Day songs. Like,
Bro, is that the worst song that we played this morning?
No, you're right. Actually, you're right.
Let's be real.
Yeah, you're right. That's not the worst.
That's not the. We played 3 worst songs by 6:30.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'd take that.
What was the one that we were listening to at
Temple of the Dog.
Temple of the Dog at fucking 6:05? Man.
I don't mind a still
I'm going hungry. You know, I got out of bed for this. Sorry. Anyway,
Okay, let's get into it.
I
Eh?
like your breakfast 6 to 9 weekdays.
Yeah, that's right. Tune in tomorrow morning. We're back again.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's our last show tomorrow because
Yes.
everyone's off on Friday. So
Yes.
should we let the chaos reign as the as the the top of the hour stinger claims?
Yeah, there's
Who
a
wrote those?
Who do you think wrote those?
Okay, damn.
The issue that I have with those things is that for some reason I've been given 8 seconds because the person who wrote those has to feel like that they have to explain who I am. So I get
AKA
MASH, and that is the worst part for me personally. You find an issue with the part where they say chaos or
ensues.
carnage or
Yeah.
absolute scenes.
well, I feel like Hauraki's premise has always been under promise, under deliver.
Yes.
yeah.
We're massively over promising. Like they're setting you up for failure by saying this is going to be crazy. Yeah. And you
Wait.
come in 6:05, you're bleeding out the eyes. You're just like, what chaos? Like,
I'll give you chaos.
yeah. Here's a 6-minute shitter from the Queens of the Stage.
Okay. Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios. This is the Hauraki Breakfast Agenda Special for Wednesday, the 9th of July. All right. So why didn't you play this one?
Because you would have enjoyed it. Dave Grohl on the drums.
He's showing off. Eh?
It's actually a pinch harmonic he's playing there.
Is the guitarist having a stroke?
Well, can you play in both ears?
That's Josh Homme.
Josh Homme is very leftier focused.
Kick this thing in the guts, Dave. Tell me what you know about that.
This would have given Pixie a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, it would have. It would have. Honestly, like when I...
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
That would have caused chaos.
Fast forward 12 hours from right now, and that is what you will walk into in my lounge. I'll be half steamed by myself. Mrs.
Yeah.
would have gone to bed by this
Yeah,
stage.
you've got a face full of KFC.
Did I tell you the other night I came home, on that fateful night where I rang the head of DB by mistake?
Yeah.
I came
The
home.
front G.
I'm up the front G. I came home and I tried to blast. I ate the leftover dinner and I was trying to blast Queens of the Stone Age on my own headphones. And my phone connected to the Bluetooth speaker in the bathroom.
Lucky you were. Lucky it was Queens of the Stone Age.
Right next to the missus. Wow, this is the thing.
Yeah.
But right next to the missus, and so she woke up to that. At 1 in the morning, she's like, what's happening?
Holy shit, that's like some Guantanamo Bay, you know, when they used to, when they used to play like rock music.
Yeah. Just sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Torture. Yeah.
Hey, you boys had a bit of an adventure yesterday. You went out and trained with the Warriors.
Yes, we
and
did.
Dear friend of the show, Shaun Johnson was there. How was SJ?
Yeah, SJ was SJ. SJ's what was about what you'd expect from SJ. I think yesterday on the show, didn't we? We kind of prefaced the training session with what we thought we might expect, and
Yeah.
it went exactly how we thought it might go.
Okay.
Shaun Johnson with an early bit of passive aggressiveness, really, about not wanting to be there. That was fine. We overcome that. And then by about halfway through the session, he was quite happy, wasn't he?
My main concern was I've worked with a lot of professional athletes, and they don't find it funny when you pretend that you think you could do what they do. And so we did a couple of defensive drills, one where we had to draw and pass, and he was the defender.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is 3 decades of training not just going to kick in here and he's going to put a shot on one of us?
Yeah.
So that was going through my head. Then we did a catch and kicks drill where he was putting pressure on us. I was like, he's going to take my legs out. I'm so sure of it.
I'm pretty sure you and I had a target on our backs.
Well, I showed up in bright yellow boots.
You should have made it clear to SJ, look, we know we are never going to be an athlete or play for the Warriors. And vice versa, you have your own TV show.
Yeah.
We've been working in the media for years, and we're not nickel and diming you on your show.
No, I know.
So
I for
don't
one
nickel
am
and dime us.
glad you replaced Chris Key on that show. But I think that we welcome you with open arms.
Yeah.
So welcome us onto the training field. Nah, instead I was like, so see that guy over there, his name's Finn, they call him Mash. He reckons you should have retired 2 years earlier.
I agree.
That would explain a lot, actually.
Do you know the funniest part is, and I've woken up this morning, it's very apt to wake up on your 34th birthday with a sore neck and not being able to turn right. It was catching an it was catching an unopposed kick. I don't know why. It was like a dolphin. You know when a dolphin jumps out of the water but hits a boat and it just... That's what I did, but completely unopposed.
So that got filmed as well. So at some point, I suppose that footage will come out and we'll talk about it.
Next week.
Is that the idea? It's going to come out next week?
That'll come out next week, all that footage, which I'm looking forward to seeing. So I'm intrigued about how, let's just say it was non-contact because you were only really tackling tackle bags, not each other. You've somehow managed to get a graze on your beak.
If you're watching along at home on YouTube, I've got some sprig marks down here. I've also got not a gash, a small cut on my head.
How did you do that?
Paul Mawadi, when he tackles
from the TAB,
when he tackles a tackle bag, for some reason his legs end up in a real akimbo fashion, and I managed to catch his left foot, I think, because I was to the left of him, and when I went to tackle a bag at the same time as him, as we were doing some kind of defensive drill, weren't we? We were essentially practicing getting up off our feet after a tackle and getting back a certain amount of time, and then Tohu Harris, he'd played the ball, and then we'd go and tackle the tackle bag again. For some reason, on the third or fourth tackle, I got Paul's boot to my schnoz. I don't know how it happened. Yes, my schnoz is big. I just, not that big though, I can assure you. He was 3 or 4 metres away. I copped a boot to the face. Yeah. That was fine. I then had to spend the next 20 minutes trying to find where the blood was coming from because at first it wasn't showing up. Shawnee J thought I'd been knocked out.
Yeah, we all did. It looked like, I thought he was looking for his eyeball because he was standing there like with his hands in front of his face. Like, what the hell's going on here? And we're like, is he out? You also looked like, because you were so confused about where the blood was coming from, you looked like you'd been knocked out.
Right, yeah.
So how's he done that?
Well, and this is the thing I was saying to, who was the lovely lady that was with us? Nat. I was saying to Nat, at the best of times, I've got a bit of a possum in the headlights vibe anyway. Yeah. So let alone getting a boot to the face after tackling a tackle bag for the first time in my life. We were seeing stars after tackle number one.
First tackle, I haven't touched a tackle bag in over a decade. First tackle, I'm seeing stars.
You tried to hit a tackle bag after a 3-day bender? Not good.
An inanimate object. That's
what I was thinking. So we did a set of 6. By the time we had to repeat because of various indiscretions, we did like 10. It was like a 6 again. Mash got 6 again for getting his bloody schnoz broken.
Yeah, that felt harsh.
But we were doing the thing where you run 10 metres, tackle, then you had to get back on side. Shaun was the ref, and so you'd have to get back to where he was. Tohu Harris would play the ball, and that was your signal to go.
Yes.
And I got to be honest, when you're exercising and your brain fog goes through the roof. I've seen spots. Yeah. Mashy's bleeding out of his head and face.
This was 5 minutes into the session.
Yeah, tackling unopposed, just tackling tackle bags.
I honestly thought we were fucked.
And so Shaun Johnson was moving back and forth. So all we had to do was get back on side to him. But no one's looking at him. And so they end up running 10 metres back. I'm like, fellas, he's right here. Like he was trying to catch you out. I was like, I can see why there's so many head highs and like missed tackles and shit. Because there's about 15 different things you got to think about. And that's just tackling a tackle bag. Now turn that tackle bag into Payne Haas. You're fucked.
Looking forward to seeing this video, actually.
Shawnee J didn't like us, and yet still halfway through the session he began to feel sorry for us. That was the kind of narrative of the whole afternoon. And then we ended up with some high ball catching. That was fun. That was the best part of the afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I peaked when I had a dropping in front of Shawnee J.
Oh, nice. Maybe we should bring Shawnee J and Tohu Harris into the studio and put them through their media passes.
I'd be more than happy to speak to Tohu Harris in the studio.
I don't think Shaun would come in after you guys non-consensual polished him.
Yeah, deserved it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think he might have actually caught wind of that, by the way. But anyway.
Who cares? It was free promotion for his show. Anyway, bit of All Blacks news. Dogroll was out.
That was not free.
That's true. Dogroll's out for the rest of the French series. He picked it yesterday. He's got a tight Achilles. You said, get the hell out of here.
Don't risk it.
Don't risk it. We do not want Sniper One to take the shot on you. But pretty simple, really. Artie takes over as skipper. You've got Patrick Tuapolo to Evan Charlton One News. Pretty handy replacement to come in.
Have they named the team yet, or have they been naming it later on today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow they name it on the Thursday. But also you got the Mahi monster Tupuvai. He can slip into lock as well from the blind side. So as gutting as it is, there's some pretty sweet replacements to come in for Dogroll.
We were talking to Joey Wheeler about it last week, and it's like, because you remember Scott Barrett's played a few games for the All Blacks in the 6 jersey, and that basically he's half a lock, half a blindside. Yeah. And so's Tupovai. So if you put both of them in there, you've got one whole blindside flanker, one whole thing. But it just screams out how much we miss Shannon Frizzell. Since Shannon Frizzell left, we just have not had that big number 6, that big bear in the forward pack.
Well, why don't we pick him? Because he's playing for the Anzac 15 against the Lions.
That's a good team too.
That's a great way to throw to the next topic. Actually,
that's a segue, fellas.
It's a segue. That is happening. I think is it this week? Next week? Is it this week? So you've got Aiden Ross.
Sorry, what's this team?
This is an Anzac 15 to play the Lions.
Yeah.
And a whole front row is Kiwi, Aiden Ross, Kirk Eklund and George Dyer. And then you've got Shannon Frizzell on the blind side.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see him play down the Southern Hemisphere again.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mike Hoskins, Satutu, the motherfucker Tava at 9, Millie Havili, David Havili at second 5 and AJ Lamb. And then you got Shooter Stevenson at fullback, Josh Fusiatua and Nani Laumapi on the bench. So that's good. That's a decent team.
Would they beat the All Blacks?
This team, no way. No, because there's
Koroi Betty.
No, they're all Australian B players.
Salakai Loto.
Yeah. I think you got Jeffrey Tumunga Allen's in there as well.
How do you boys feel about the whole Anzac?
I quite like it.
Sporting side.
Yeah,
I like it too. Yeah.
The uniforms suck.
The only time it happened otherwise was when they had their centenary. I remember they had an Anzac 11 versus someone.
That's right.
I can't remember what that was.
Yeah.
But there was also an international 15 came down and played the All Blacks.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Because there was, back in the day, question without warning, there was some sort of black and gold team that went and toured the Northern Hemisphere. It was like, I think this was back when you used to have to take a boat to go and do a rugby tour.
Yeah.
I think we picked up a few Aussies on the way because someone was going to get consumption on the way over there. And so we needed 50 guys to go.
That's a hell of a trip. We talk about how we get down to Queenstown, get in the motorhome for 3 days and go to rugby. These guys got on a boat for 6 weeks before they actually hit the ground to play rugby. Imagine that's leave the farm. Starters, leave the farm. Go for 6 weeks on a boat, which would have been a hell of a bender.
Yeah.
And then land and play rugby. And they stay there for about 2 months.
And then you watch the rugby that they play, and it's like all 15 guys chasing the ball. It's like JAB rugby, and then they throw it overhand. They're wearing business shirts.
I love it.
That's wild.
Is that the strip for the Anzac side?
It is. Yeah.
It's pretty ugly and pretty Aussie heavy leaning as well.
Well, it used to be. I remember the old Anzac one was in quarters. And it was,
like a Harlequins shirt.
Yeah, it was like 1 quarter top left, 1 quarter top right, bottom left, bottom right.
I don't mind that.
This is more hoops.
Yeah, I'm not into this.
But anyway, that's going to be a fascinating game to watch, purely because I want to see Shannon Frizzell. I want to see Dick Frizzell fold someone.
Yeah.
And I mean, is there a chance that he could play for the All Blacks for the World Cup?
Don't ask me.
Is it next year or the year after?
27 is the World Cup. It's in Australia. Yeah, he would have to come back and play a season, would he not?
Easy. I think any team would welcome Dick Frizzell with open arms.
How old? Again, should have done. A better podcast would know the answer to this question. But would he be 31, 32, maybe?
Yeah, around then.
Shannon Frizzell? I should know. He's a dear friend of mine.
You've solved a lot of issues with him at the in Dunedin.
We spent a lot of time together, Shannon and I, me and Shannon. His brother plays in the NRL. Tyson Frizzell.
Yes.
So they're brothers, and they were, I think, I don't know, whangaed out to other parts of the family. One lived in Australia, one grew up here in New Zealand.
Wow, you
31 years old. You're right.
31, yeah.
So is he good boys with Richie, is he? Is that how you guys...
Yeah, him and Richie.
Oh, he actually met him through me.
Yeah, Richie Moanga came down to drive the bus for the Richie's Express.
That's right.
They both play for the same team in Japan.
Sizable donation to the Pokero.
Yeah, and he did say, Shannon, he said, oh, how's Japan been? He goes, oh, yeah, we struggled the first year, but, if you want to win a championship, just get Richie Mo to play for you.
I was like, that's a great point. You just won 7 consecutive Super Rugby titles.
Yeah.
Now you've gone over to Japan, you won that. Have you ever not won a tournament? And he goes, the World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Another beer?
Yeah. Sorry, Rick.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We're going to be back with a bit of a State of Origin preview and then quite a few yours pleasers to get through. Right, don't forget, we are on YouTube. If you want to put some vision with the audio, you're more than welcome to go to the Alternative Commentary Collective on YouTube. You'll see all the podcasts are on there in their entirety, plus a bunch of videos you probably don't really want to watch. But get on there. It's all free for you to subscribe on the YouTube channel this month, and we'll give you a signed ACC Almanac. Right, State of O tonight, the decider, Sydney, New South Wales, Queensland. It's 1-1, but it's at Homebush.
It's mate against mate. It's state against state.
But I can't see Queensland getting anywhere near them.
No, but you never can, though. That's the thing. You always count out Queensland.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and win them, and they just did it a couple of weeks ago.
As a man that sits on the fringes when it comes to NRL or rugby league as a code,
Rugby league.
it always feels like the narrative is very similar, that New South Wales head in being favourites and then Queensland end up showing up and then New South Wales fans are upset, and then there's a decider and New South Wales think that they should win it, and if Queensland end up winning it, then it was a big upset or something along those lines.
And it's, well, for one thing, I can't remember exactly the number, but it's like 11 of the 17 teams in the NRL are from Sydney.
Right.
So that's part of it. The population in New South Wales is about 8 or 9 million versus 5 million in Queensland.
But I was hearing things being said like the B team for New South Wales would beat this Queensland first side before Origin started this year.
It would look better on paper for sure, and it's never been more. The difference has never been bigger than it is this year. I think when you look at the New South Wales team, it always looks like an all-star team.
Yeah.
And then Queensland will always have one or two dudes who are like, who the fuck does he play for?
So explain to me, how does Queensland win a game?
Well, it's the Queensland spirit, mate.
Right.
Well, that's what they'd say at least.
Yeah.
But this is why it's always so interesting. But I've seen so many people, because this year in particular, it is more egregious than any other year in terms of all-star team on one side, Bobby Toyer, who you could not pick out of a lineup, playing on the other side, Guillemette Shibasaki, who you wouldn't have even known was in the NRL before this year.
He won me some money, that's how I know.
Because he wasn't in the NRL before this year. But he...
He's good in the multi, yeah.
Yeah.
But he... so I've been seeing a lot of people on social media this week saying that it's all scripted and that State of Origin's fixed and that the NRL can't afford to have
a dead rubber
in Game 3, so they've fixed it. I don't think you can fix a game of rugby league.
No, that's pretty hard.
Because you walk, I mean, how fearsome was it for us walking out to an unopposed training session yesterday?
Yeah.
Now you put other guys opposite you. Like, you can't fake that.
You're kind of discrediting the mentality of athletes as well when people say shit like that. Like, these guys...
You can't fix, and also, you've got, how many players in the squad, in the playing squad, 17 or whatever?
Yeah.
It's a lot of people to have in your back pocket. You know, there's going to be...
Yeah.
You can't, like cricket's different because you can do spot fixing, and you just need the influence of one player in there to start. But 17 rugby league mutes?
You need rehearsals. You need fucking...
It's hard enough to get them to try and win.
I know.
You know what I mean? Getting 17 dudes on the same pitch to win a game is fucking hard, let alone try to...
But imagine saying to them, guys, we're going to throw this one. Yeah. And they're like, well, how do we do that? So you'd go out and they'd just be like diving the other way from tackles. Making it super obvious.
Yeah. So, and the other part of it is, so how they do it in the NBA, if a team's trying to tank, they want to lose as many games in a season so they get first pick the next year. The players don't tank, they still play hard because they're players, they're playing for their own contract, but they pick players who suck.
Yes.
And that's how they manage to tank. Or they'll pick a player who's going to shoot 50 times, score bugger all points, and your team will lose while looking like they're trying to win. Yeah. You can't do that in State of Origin because you've got to pick the best players.
Well, maybe it's the ref.
Well, that could be...
The NRL can control that.
The NRL can control the... But there were no, egregious...
Even then, it's quite hard to do.
Even then, yeah, that's right. But
and
particularly
I don't think
with the bunker and all that kind of shit.
And I don't think a ref's going to put their career on the line, are they? Maybe.
Some would say that is a ref's career.
Yeah, honesty call. I haven't watched a State of Origin in about 4 years.
Yeah, I haven't watched the second half of a State of Origin in about 4 years.
I've watched the build-up numerous times and then fallen asleep.
Fallen asleep to Gus Gould.
Yes. Yeah, because
Reminds me of a quote from the Game of Thrones.
I always get excited when I see 9:30 and I go, ooh. You know, everyone's in bed. I'm on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, State of Origin. And I get a bit excited. It's 9:30, put it on. Then I forget, it's an hour build-up.
Yep.
And then 10 o'clock rolls around and fuck, so I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And then do you do that thing where you just kind of, come to life at about 11:30 p.m. on the couch, and you, and then just dry mouth, and you see the final score, and you go, oh well, that's that then, and then you have to go to bed. That's what I do every year.
I just go to bed.
I haven't watched a State of Origin game this
Off on the
year
couch,
because I have to get up so early.
Yeah.
Like 5 o'clock. But before that, the Thursday game would always kick off at 10, the Thursday night game in the NRL. And for me, it was always watch the first half, fall asleep at halftime, red card yourself off to bed, pretend that you're going to listen to the coverage while you're going to sleep, fall asleep doing that, wake up to go to the toilet at about 2, check your bets, whether they came in or not.
Nice.
I often find checking bets spoils it for me. Like going there, oh, damn it, they lost. And then I won't watch the replay.
No, you can't watch the replay.
Speaking of which, we actually need to place our hunch on State of O. Looking at some power plays, which is I think the way we should go. Queensland lead after 20 minutes. It's a bit dull. Looking at something with some juicier odds in the power plays. All jerseys 3-9-11 to score a try.
All jerseys 3-9-11. Is that for both sides?
Yep.
Okay.
So basically 3-9-11 to score tries. My other side is paying $23.
Oh, either side. So both threes don't have to score, just one of them.
Yep. All jerseys 3-9. Oh, maybe. No,
I don't
maybe.
know. I think if it's, I think it's going to be a pretty turgid affair.
Okay. Will both teams to score points before 10 minutes?
Well, they will take, if they get a penalty within kicking distance, they will take it. So that could be, how much is that paying?
$11.
Oh.
Both teams, $11.
Yeah.
Both teams to score before 10 minutes.
Oh, 10's real quick.
That's
though.
tight.
Yeah, that
But
is
that's good though,
tight.
because we only have to watch the first 2 minutes of the game.
Oh, yes. In the interest of getting a good night's sleep, we want something that's bust in the first 10 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
This is perfect.
Okay, let's go for that one. Both teams, that's $11. We'll stick that on there. That's for people who want to go to bed early.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
The good night's sleep bet.
Yeah. That is
The Biomag
We're
underlay.
texting you boys at 10 past.
the Biomag hunch.
Yeah.
Oh, well, unlucky fellas.
Okay, well, that is on tonight, 9:30, but actually doesn't kick off until Gus Gould finishes his monologue at 10:30.
New South Wales win that, just to clarify.
Oh, how would you? Yeah. I mean, on paper, yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but how many times have you counted out Queensland and they've turned around and won it, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, just to touch on the Warriors, Tannah Boyd has been named to replace Luke Metcalf. Have you got a scouting report on Tannah Boyd, anyone?
Yep. Tannah Boyd was... actually, sorry, Finn, you go.
No, I like Ryan's
never heard of him.
Like, if you want to go,
I honestly never heard of him.
neither have I.
So he played for the Gold Coast Titans, and he was sort of a halfback forced into hooker. He's been playing for our New South Wales Cup team, which has won, I think, somewhere between 11 games on the trot they've won, and it's all been him and to a lesser extent, well, not to a lesser extent, but him and Tamati Martin. The reason I think you bring him in is because he's got an excellent kicking game.
Good.
And Tamati Martin's already been in that 14 jumper for about a month now. So Webby famously does not like making big sweeping changes. So if you brought Tamati in, you're now moving two different players. So he is going to just slot straight into halfback. We were talking to Blake Ashford yesterday out on the third pitch, the Mickey Peacock field out there at Mount Smart Stadium.
He was a great man, wasn't he?
He is, yeah. Mickey Peacock.
Oh, he also was a great man, but I was mainly speaking about Blake.
Blake Ashford, great guy as well. And he was explaining to us how the opposed sessions work for the Warriors.
Yeah.
So every 2 days before the game, they'll play an opposed session against the New South Wales Cup team, and they'll do scenarios. So we're playing against the Tigers this weekend. All right, Tannah Boyd, you're going to be Jerome Luai, and he'll play how, like a walkthrough sort of thing.
Yeah.
He'll play to the tendencies of the other player. So he hasn't been playing for the Warriors first grade team this year, but he has been an integral part of their success so far. So this is why we were talking about the logjam in the halves and why that's a problem. It's not a problem now because people get injured all the time and you need other people to fill in.
Oh, that's good news.
It is good news.
That is great news.
I think we're going to be okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good because for a second there, I slipped down a slippery slope. No Mitch Barnett. no Luke Metcalf. I was ready to call it.
No chance. And you would say that they're probably our 3 best players.
Yeah.
Almost influential.
Yeah. Speaking of influential, we're going to be in Wellington this weekend for the All Blacks.
Men of influence.
Yeah, men of influence. Last few places are available at Shed at 22 to join us for the commentary starting at 6 o'clock. Text Shed to 3236. I think most of it is booked out. There's only limited places with limited obstructed views, which... Just turn up, is my advice.
You're in the nosebleeds.
Yeah, in the nosebleeds. Roaming Giant, again, there's only a couple of tables left there, so get in there. Text ACC to 3236 for the Roaming Giant in Hamilton on July 19th for the Champagne Rugby live tour with Export Ultra. Drink specials, entertainment. It's the next best thing to being at the ground because both those games are sold out, so come and join us. Rightio, got quite a few yours pleasers to plough through, so stick around.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
I don't know if we recorded what we just said before about Lane asked you to stick around and then did not stick around himself.
Yeah, he need to get on a ferry, I believe.
Yeah.
School holidays, mate. These things happen. Okay, first one, yours. Oh, actually, no, I should explain how this works. If you do want to get in touch for this part of the show, then just send us a talkback via the talkback function on your iHeartradio app. Just search for The Agenda. Microphone button, push it, hold it, record it.
30 seconds, don't get caught out.
Don't get caught out. Okay, first one, yours please.
SVJ crushing it in the NASCAR.
SVG.
And just seeing how they do it as a sport, as entertainment, without going 20 laps back because somebody nudged somebody, rubbing is racing. And then rugby just overdone through, the referee, and as a product with eyeballs, how do we make it fun again, boys?
I feel like a beer all of a sudden.
So do I. How do we make it funny? I don't know. Yes, there was an 8-car pile-up. I watched that entire NASCAR race, so it was actually kind of boring.
Yeah. Was it? I don't watch it.
You were in the room when we watched it, and you didn't watch it.
No,
so,
I couldn't really tell what was going on. I just looked at the leaderboard and hoped I saw Van Giz's name there.
Yeah.
Is it? Are we sure he got the initials right?
No, he definitely didn't. SVG, not SVJ, unless he's calling them Van Gisbergen. All I know is he's fast.
Yeah,
I think. This is the natural progression. So when you play like club footy, there's no TMO, and the touch judges are like some guy from the other club. And I think that we've gone so hard on like TMO. We need to make sure every call is exactly right. But we actually don't want that. You know what I mean? That's what we thought we wanted. We thought we wanted every call to be 100% correct. It's like when they thought about putting microchips in the balls to see if the pass was forward. I actually don't think we want that. Because what if we found out that every second pass was forward?
We did a grassroots rugby roundup in Dunners on Saturday. Myself, Joe Jerry, ACC Head G Lane. We went to a couple of local rugby parks and watched some footy. And the first thing we noticed was that whenever there was a try scored, it was either immediately awarded or immediately disallowed.
Yes.
And it changed the game so much more than I thought it would. And I know that's not really exactly on your point. But
no, it is. No, that is my point. My point is, there
was a time when we didn't have it at all.
Yeah.
And maybe it worked better.
It did work better. That's exactly it. And it's like the NRL does a good job of adjudicating on vibe.
Yeah.
The vibe is you've scored a try there. So we're going to give it to you. The other team can complain about it. They've just got to suck it up at the end and just carry on.
That's exactly what we saw.
That's what we need to get back to.
The Sharkies, there was a controversial crossfield kick early doors. Look, we could have hunted for 4 or 5 minutes to see whether or not there was a knock-on involved in the knockdown. We didn't bother. It looked like a try. Passed the sniff test. Happy days.
Yeah. Was it a good play? Did they work hard in practice to sort this move out and then pull it off in the game? That's what we're trying to do. So
the crowd get behind it. It was electric.
Exactly. Was it sick?
There was a bit of momentum, and then the conversion was made. We went back to the halfway line and we played more rugby.
But I think that's his point about the NASCAR race is that, like you said, rubbing is racing. They just get on with it. There's no pull up, hang on, did you touch this? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, just go. Just go.
Yeah.
And I think less. Get rid of has the TMO made any sport better?
No.
Maybe tennis?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Other than that, I don't think TMO's made any sport better.
Well, because TMO has come in to pretty much deal with the grey areas of the sport.
Yeah.
They've come in to deal with,
It's made basketball worse because they've now got a review that never gets overturned.
But tennis is good though, isn't it? And easy because there's a line and it's in or it's out.
Did it hit it or not?
VAR in football's the same. You're going back through looking for handballs and all these things that were already grey.
Yeah.
And now in slow-mo, they are, surprise, surprise, just as grey.
Yeah, I think that one about did it go over the line or not on the VAR in soccer? Like, did it go, you know what? It's usually when it comes off the top crossbar and then hits somewhere on the
goal
line
technology,
and they check that one. I think if you have to look at it that closely, not a goal.
You reckon that's not a goal?
Back of the onion circle, fuck off.
Yeah, you're right. You need to see a net ripple for it to be a goal. I agree. Okay.
It's coming from a man who's never watched a game of soccer.
Next one, yours, please.
Hot take, this might be rude, so just stop me in my tracks if I get it. But fucking 14 years driving an F1 car and you win one race and everyone's like, oh my God, congratulations. Congratulated for fucking what, bro? Like, he should be fucking kicked out of F1 if anything. If anything. Like, this is fucking stupid. F1 fans are dumb. They're dumb. They're special. They're not even special needs kids, bro. They were in the class where everyone was making scones. Get fucked, F1 fans.
Okay.
Eat a dick.
Right. Okay, so
No notes.
The first 15 seconds was all right. I like where he was heading with it.
No notes.
I assume he's referring to Hulkenberg, who got his first podium of his Formula One career. He came third.
And he's been doing it for 14 years.
Yeah.
Right, but Liam Lawson, has a slow start to one race and they demote him.
Yeah. Interesting, eh?
What's that about?
I suppose he's just been hovering around the shit teams for the best part of his career. But he's got a point. The first 15 seconds, again, of that talkback was fantastic.
Yeah.
What was the last half? I can't remember. He sounded like your mate going on about not being athletes. No, he was going at the fans of Formula One.
I thought of another athlete that sits down but is definitely an athlete.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, no, because you know how I said they're not athletes, and I said anyone who sits down for their sport is not an athlete. And then they were like, "What about the goat in the boat?" I was like, "Yeah, fair point."
Yeah, you woke up in a dry sweat at 3 a.m.
I'd also throw like cyclists in there. They are definitely athletes.
Yes, after watching the Tour de France, yeah,
and they sit down.
That's okay, sweet. So right now the list consists of kayaking and cycling. And we can keep adding to that.
Maybe the sitting down part of it is not. The thing is you're using fossil fuels. You know what I mean? Like if you're propelling yourself forward using your own muscles, you're an athlete.
Okay, I think that theory's starting to sound a bit better.
If you are using melted dinosaurs to propel yourself forward, that doesn't count.
But again, that's then...
Are sailors athletes?
Oh. Yeah. But if you're going off the idea of... I mean, you're never going to get the thesis bang on, are you? Because if you're going off your own muscles propelling yourself forward, then darts.
They grind the winches.
They do grind the winches.
That's artificial, though. Like, they could definitely put a motor on that.
You know how the other day we were talking about if you just dropped everything you did and focused entirely on one thing, could you become a professional athlete?
Yeah.
Is that grinding in SailGP and sailing something that you could... Like, is that... it looks easy. Is that the type of thing that's as easy as it looks?
Maybe. The thing is you're competing with retired athletes who are doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
so you've got... Who did they have? Hamish Bond was doing it for Team New Zealand for a little bit.
Rob Waddell.
I forget that they use actual guys
so
that
like,
are built like brick shit houses already. Yeah.
But in terms of skill, no, that's just all heart and lactic acid management.
Okay. Sweet.
Forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think we'll move on anyway. But yeah, point taken. Totally understand what you're saying. Next one, yours please.
G'day fellas. I was just wondering if you guys could release the All Blacks commentaries as a podcast. You know, just for us poor bastards who have to watch the fucking replay because we can't afford Sky and have to steal it off the in-laws, you know. That'd be just really good to get the whole experience, you know, the All Blacks and the ACC to be fucking good.
Yeah. You know how... Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've had this one, but yes.
Yes, and I can give them an update. The first test is up on the agenda for this morning.
In full?
In full, yep.
There you go.
Who the fuck is going to go back and listen to that in full?
This guy.
In full?
I cut out the glitter ball halftime.
Oh, you know, that's good. Yeah.
So you need to but you'll skip the halftime if you're watching the replay anyway.
Yeah. We said a couple of marginal things around the halftime act. Yeah,
and I cut out the end where Lane made a comparison between someone and looking like Gru from Despicable Me.
Oh, you know, that was that was probably a smart move.
Yeah. Now I want to know who it was.
Oh, that makes a hell of a lot more sense about a conversation we were having in the office yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Right. Next one. Yours, please.
G'day, mate. Manaia, you're on fine for him yesterday. That was the funniest podcast. I was losing it. I loved all of your hot takes. It was so good. Completely agree with you regarding the motorsport/motor games. They're not athletes. They just drive a car. We all drive cars. Yes, they drive fast. We all drive fast. Love your work team, as always. Love yous. Fuck yous. Bye.
On you, mate.
Thank you. It's something about the hunch couch. You forget you're on a podcast.
You start throwing haymakers.
He's like, fuck motor games.
Yeah, that is actually a good point, though. Is if an average Joe's doing it, then...
Yeah, I think that's sort of my point.
Yeah.
Like, how is that any different than... And literally, the F1 dudes train in simulators. They're basically playing PlayStation at that point. You know what I mean?
I mean, is it...
I'm not saying it's not hard to do. It's obviously hard to do.
Yeah.
A lot of things are hard to do.
You just want to make sure
Doesn't make them a sport.
that they know that it's not a sport. Yeah.
And I love games.
Oh, don't we all? We all love games. Yeah.
But I don't call them sports.
No, fair. And again, thank you for your contribution there via the Talkback function on your iHeartradio app. A couple more to go. 3, apparently. The next one, yours, please.
Oh, g'day, fellas. It's Greg from Napes here. Hey, G Lane, calling Esteban Ocon Sebastian Ocon is peak Tell Me You're a Sports Adjacent podcast without Tell Me You're a Sports Adjacent podcast. Love you as fuck, yes.
I don't know what he was talking about there, but can I guess he's just read the wrong name or said the wrong name for a person?
Yeah, he did.
He will do that from time to time.
In fact, he might do that more than just time to time. I think he does that probably 2 or 3 times an episode.
Well, just this morning he thought that Chris Hemsworth was the star of Jurassic Park, which of course is Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
It's usually the last. He's like, oh no, sorry, was that his brother? No, that's not how first names work. That's last names. When they've got the same last name, that means that they're sometimes related. But no one can half remember a quote quite like G Lane, a name or a quote. It'll just be one tiny little part of it.
Yeah.
BDE, when BDE was going around a couple of years ago, for some reason it stuck in his brain as big dick confidence. BDC. And everyone's like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so he just always sounds a little bit
just slightly
off.
It's like a parent trying to cringe their kid out, and I wonder if maybe that is what he's trying to do.
But if you're going to subscribe to the idea of G Lane or tuning into G Lane, I totally get it and I admire it. But just understand you've done it because of vibe, not because of accuracy.
Yeah, that's right.
So you aren't going to get 100% accuracy, but you are going to get 100% energy. And that's the deal you've signed up to.
With the devil.
A couple more to go, I believe, or maybe
one
just
more.
one more. Yours, please.
What's going on, Wounders? Just this tennis chat I've been hearing makes me think Lulu's son, the New Zealand tennis player, supposedly from Te Anau. She's not really from Te Anau. She's from outside Te Anau in an ex-religious cult. Still kind of a little bit of a cult. Look it up, Takara Lodge. So it's a little bit interesting. Anyways, Mash your missus is hot and fuck Canterbury.
Sweet. Well, I'll look that one up. And by that one, I mean your missus. And
what do you mean you'll look her up?
I'll look her up
again.
She's actually just out in the office. Should we knock this thing on the head and go say good day to Loz?
Yeah, if you. I mean, I'd rather you didn't. But yeah, no. Did he have anything of value in there? No.
There was an allegation that Lulu's son's from a cult.
Yeah, that feels like the type of thing we should research before we discuss.
Yes, we should.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for the first 5 yours pleases we received today.
Well, the first 3 and then the second to last one.
Oh, the second to last one was a good one as well.
Head to Duplessis Alan one, we could have done better, but
yeah. And in fact, maybe you might hear us talk. It might have to make the cutting room floor that one. But anyway, love you all. Okay, all right. Tomorrow from 6 a.m. on the Hauraki Breakfast for one final day. Absolute scenes if you listen to the stings that play at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. But until then, have a lovely Wednesday. Uru.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.